you're gonna have to handle it, girl. You're gonna have to put your big boots on and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Hey, look, pick up your phone, I need your attention. My girl so bad we call her detention. I am so glad we moved beyond friendship. I am so glad your mama like me. Sweat up with Cupid, told her fight me. I stole your love.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Look, your girl's got a new hairstyle. I mean, I do my hairstyles when I don't film, but for some reason when I film I always just do the same basic hairstyle. I'm not really sure why, but today I'm switching it up. Got the... yeah, I know, new hair, new me. Anyway, I need to style my hair actually. My hair's growing out so much. Anyway, besides the point. In today's video we are going to be discussing things I would tell my younger self. I have a lot of younger viewers and like you learn a lot of things from me. You guys call me like your big sister, which that gasses me so much, you guys don't get it. So I was just thinking I might as well do a video that you can kind of learn from things that I've learned from in the past. I actually asked you guys to give me these things and all of them pretty much that I wrote down were things that I did struggle with, which makes me feel good because I know that everyone else struggled with that too. And if you're younger, I feel like a lot of the times you feel like you're isolated and you're the only one who's dealing with these problems. No, pretty much every single teenage girl is struggling with the same things that you're struggling with. So I hope this video is like some clarification that you're not a weirdo or that like you're the only one feeling these emotions. I'm gonna try and talk about them in a way that you can kind of move forward and deal with it, if that makes sense. But yeah, as I said, I asked you guys to give me the things that you feel like you wish you told yourself when you were younger on my backup account, and you should follow that because I give hints about new videos. If I do interactive videos, I'll ask them on there because I don't know, you guys get like premium content. Definitely follow that if you want to be involved in the next interactive video. Let me know actually other interactive videos that you guys want me to do because I do like doing them. I like to hear you guys' thoughts. Let's get straight into the video. So the first one, which a lot of people said actually, which is stop settling for less, which is something that I feel like all teenagers do. I think that people settle for less or have lower standards because they think that if they have high standards they're never going to get anything, or that they literally don't feel like they deserve better. Okay, let me just say, first of all, girl, it's better to have nothing than to have less. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. If we're talking about boys, because I feel like a lot of the time it is about boys, settling for less is not worth it. You're better off being single and in your own lane, doing your own thing, improving what you need to improve on, than having to worry about someone who is less than you. Because when you have someone who is less than you, they're going to not encourage you to do better. You do not want to ruin who you are by just settling for something that you don't even need anyway. You don't need a man.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Especially as a teenager, you do not need a man. So it is very important to just focus on yourself. If you see those red flags, run. You're more likely to get what you really want if you have high standards. I said this in my last video, which is like how to be single, how to be happy single. There may not be many people in the world that will have the standards that you want, but it's good because you're filtering out who you don't want. I wrote down, when you settle for less than you originally planned, you're settling for red flags, loads of issues and constant stress. Those things will never get better. I'm telling you right now, you will never be able to fix the issues that come up when you settle for less. Like, I think people think that they can help their boyfriend get better. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to be his nurse and cuddle him. First of all, you don't have time for that. You need to work on yourself. Especially as a teenager, girl, we're insecure. Do we have time to be dealing with Jeremy down the road? No, you don't need that. If they don't want to be molded, you can't mold them. Because a lot of the time, these boys, they are fine with having these red flags. They are fine with being trash. You're just not fine with it. Next one kind of leads on from this, which is stop seeking validation from boys. We usually settle for less because we do want someone to make us feel better, so we kind of cling on to anything that gives us attention. We will cling on to it because we are uncomfortable with dealing with it on our own. Girl, you will never be able to get to where you want to get to by relying on someone else to do it. You have to fill yourself up and you have to give yourself that little bit of boost. No one else can do it. If you have your mindset on becoming a better version of yourself, you will do it. But if you have your mindset on other people making you become a better version of yourself, that's very counterproductive, and all you're going to do is rely on that person too heavily. He will never fall through for you anyway. Those people will never give you what you want, especially as teenagers. These boys cannot handle all of that. They cannot handle your insecurities. They cannot handle you anyway because girl, you're too good for them. Besides the point. They cannot handle all the stresses that you're going through because A, they have their own stresses, and B, they don't actually care.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
And I have a video on confidence. If you guys want to watch that, it will be on the card, whatever side. I never know. I think it's that side. Just binge watch my videos and you'll be good, you know. Anyway, the next one is black features are beautiful. You don't have to be white to be pretty. And a lot of people said this and I actually felt it, and I'm not even like fully black, so like I cannot even imagine how a full black girl feels in the society that we live in, because I think, well, especially as teenagers, and even when I was younger than a teenager, when I was about 7 or 8, I started to realize that people didn't really look like me. Like I would watch Hannah Montana and I'd see the girls with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Girl, let me just say, my hair did not look like this. It was a puffball. I did not know how to manage my hair. I had buck teeth. It was just not a great time. I didn't look that great, and I would feel very isolated because I grew up in a predominantly white school, so no one really looked like me. So it did create a lot of insecurities, and I wish that I had someone to tell me that you're beautiful and you don't have to look like them to be that. But leading on from this, no one wrote this down, but I think it does link a lot, and this is comparing yourself. As teenagers, I think comparing ourselves is like one of the worst things, because we become aware of our looks and aware of how we carry ourselves, and it becomes very toxic if you dwell on it too much. It's really, really important to know that being unique is better than being a carbon copy or being like everyone else. And to be honest, a lot of the times, I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, I was comparing myself to adults or older teenagers. Like I was 12, in the peak of my puberty, buck teeth and all, frizzy hair, but I have to remember that I'm not fully matured yet. I'm still not even fully mature, so when I compare myself to girls that are like 22, 23, I'm like, you're not there yet, you have like 4 or 5 years left. I really wish that I didn't look too heavily on my looks, because it did take a big toll out of me and made me feel really insecure. And to be honest, your looks in general shouldn't be something you worry about. You can't change that. I know that's a sad thing to admit, but you cannot change how you look. But you can change how you feel about how you look, because really and truly, I know people might think, but Ellie, you're so pretty. Sometimes I think I'm so ugly and I hate myself. I don't like my boobs because my boobs are too small, I'm sure. People say that I'm too pale and I get insecure about that. Like I think about all the things that people have to say about me. It's not good, because there's nothing that I can change. The only thing that I can really do is work on my confidence and accept the things that I have and move on. Now I've come to the point where it's like I embrace who I am, take it or leave it. Like if you don't want me, that's cool, someone else will. If you want to hate on me, cool, someone else won't. Okay, so this kind of leads on, but more in like a personality type of way, but I guess you can kind of compare it to looks as well, which is it's okay to stand out and not be like everyone else. And I kind of want to talk about like following the crowd and stuff. Pretty much 99% of teenagers do follow what other people do because they're too afraid of being different, because it's like embarrassing or uncool to not do what everyone else does. When you follow the crowd, you lose yourself, you lose your identity, morals, sense of style and your own voice, and however many things. And I know it doesn't really seem like a big deal when you're in school and you're just following like, you know, innocent trends. You've got to think how that will affect you in the long run. Like it seems good now following the crowd, but later on it will bite you in the butt, and then you'll realize that you don't really know who you are. And it's not good to get to that place. And I feel like our like early teenage years, teenagers in general, shape who we are for the rest of our life if we don't deal with the negative patterns. You see people that have, you know, followed the crowd for so many years, and then they have identity crises because they've never taken the time to uncover who they really are without the external sources. We need to stop looking at following things for the now because it's good for the now and it won't affect me in the now, but think about how it will affect us in the future. Because I think people think that they can kind of ignore and push aside or push under the rug all of their issues, which is pretty much what we do all our teenage years. When we feel these things coming up, we just continue to do what we're doing and then assume that at some point will change and it won't be an issue anymore. Girl, it will come back up. My insecurities all stem from how I dealt with situations when I was younger. You will never be able to just move on or I just let this slide. It will handle itself. You're gonna have to handle it, girl. You're gonna have to put your big boots on and you're gonna have to deal with it. You have to make that uncomfortable decision to work on yourself. I'm going off track. I'm doing my little Dr. Phil thing right now, but I'm being dead serious. Like, I really hope people understand this. Like, you cannot ignore things and expect them to go away. If you are younger though and you are creating these patterns or you are feeling these ways that you know that aren't that great, do not pretend that they're not there, because you don't want to be like the other girls who are watching these videos and me, who are a bit older, who have dealt with a lot in life and now have to clean up their mess. It's not fun. But even if it's just like practical things, sticking with your own truth. Like if someone tells you to follow something in school, you do it because you want to do it, or you don't do it because you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Little things like that will create a pattern for you. If you know how to handle the small situations, you'll know how to handle the big ones, because life gets very complicated when you're older, because a lot of the time we don't know how to deal with things when we're younger. Okay, so this next one leads on most definitely to the last one, which is don't worry about your fake friends. You will make some loyal ones later on. I wrote this down and I said we all want loads of friends when we're younger because that correlates to popularity or being seen as cool. Popularity is one of the most toxic things in a teenager's life because we're constantly relying on what other people think of us to feel worthy. And the majority of the people you're relying on for your popularity are fake. And they aren't actually down for you in the long run. I know that we're talking about fake friends, but a lot of the time we have these fake friends because we want loads of friends. And then that creates that idea, I need to be popular, I need to fit in, I need to not be seen as like the loner. People that detach themselves from that toxic popularity group and have those two ride or die friends, they may be seen as a nerd, they may be seen as like the unpopular one, but often they do actually feel much better about themselves. Like I know in school, the popular kids, they always had so many problems. So many friendship problems all the time. All this beef, everyone falling out with each other. You want to have friends because you know they're going to be down for you. It's important when you're younger to realise that not everyone is your friend. The more mature you get, the more you'll realise that you do not need a lot of friends to be happy. I am so glad that I do not have a lot of friends. Like, I have a lot of friends. I call them acquaintances. I only have a small handful of people that I call my close friends, who I can tell everything to, I can let my guard down to. The rest of them, they just know my name. They don't need to know me. You do not need to let every single person into your life, because that's when you get let down a lot. And this kind of leads on to what I was saying, which is don't involve yourself with irrelevant drama, because drama creates stress, ego and gossip. And I don't really think people realise the ego part, because when you are constantly involved in gossip and drama, you build yourself up to a higher standard that like you're better than that person, or like, did you see what so and so did? Like, ew, I could never. All that does is create so much issues and negativity in your heart. Because I can tell you right now, the people that have the higher egos, they actually are very insecure, because they need other people to be down in order for them to feel up. You don't want to be like that. You want to be good on your own, sis. You don't need to see Sophie down there suffering in order to boss yourself up. It honestly wastes so much time when you focus on drama too heavily. So please, girls, just move on. It's not worth it. We waste so much of our teenage years focusing on what other people are doing, but never focus on our own lives, and then we wonder why we're depressed or insecure or anxious. Okay, the next one is, just because you love people and treat them well doesn't mean they'll reciprocate it. I wish that I knew this. I am a very giving person. I'm a very loving person. I let my guard down very easily. I trust very easily. But not everyone is like that. Life is a harsh place, and some people genuinely just don't care about you, and you will put in all that effort. You will be that kind person. You'll be their biggest fan in everything that they do, and they will never return the energy. They will never build you up either. They will thrive off of your niceness and then give you back rudeness.
What was the reason?
That's just the harsh truth of it. And I think I could have avoided so many heartbreaks, whether that's friendship heartbreaks, boy heartbreaks, just general disappointments in life, if I didn't have such high standards on other people. I cannot place my own standards on other people. Like, say for example, right, Christianity. I see a lot of people who are Christian hating on other people who aren't Christian for doing certain things or not acting like a Christian. Do not have high standards as a Christian for someone who is not Christian. Doesn't make any sense. So the same way that you have high standards for your relationships, they're not you. They don't have the same morals as you. And that's why it's very important though to make sure that the people around you have similar morals and react to things in a similar way that you do. We know that they don't have the same morals as us, but we do it anyway, and then we're surprised when it doesn't work out. But honey, you knew that he was trash. If we worked on ourselves and our confidence and these people still let us down, first of all, we'd know how to deal with that again and not attract those people again. But second of all, we wouldn't be that affected by it because we know we got ourselves. I wrote this down, how people think being nice and being let down means that being nice is a bad thing. Being nice is a great thing. Never give up that quality of yourself. It is probably one of the best qualities you can ever have, being generous, being kind. But it's important you guard your heart as you're being nice. Protect your emotions as you're being generous. Don't just be nice and open up your emotions and let everyone come in and attack your heart. If you're nice and guarded and then people reciprocate that, you can kind of let the guard down just a little bit. The more nice they are, you let it down a little bit, you know what I mean? You take your time to get to know that person so you know if they're really worthy of knowing you. Because I think when people are really, really nice and really, really generous, they let their guard down, become very vulnerable, and then when that person breaks them, it's the worst thing ever. Okay, so the last one is very important. This is a short and sweet one, but I think it kind of sums up everything that I just discussed, which is not rushing into things and not wishing that you were older than you are. I wish that I could go back and tell my younger Elodie just to enjoy childhood a little bit more. Like, I placed so much stress and anxiety on my early teenage years that I just lost myself too early. I shouldn't lose myself at 12 and 13 years old crying about a boy. Having crushes, whatever, you do that, but having relationships and feelings, you're opening yourself up to heartbreak and disappointment at too young of an age. I'm not trying to be, you know, too harsh and say all your relationships are going to end, but realistically, as a child, these relationships won't work and you will be let down at some point. I know I don't like to be negative, but I just want to say that on a real note. Me being your big sister right now, enjoy your childhood years. Do not worry about that boy. Do not worry about that drama. Do not worry about adult things, because being an adult is so stressful. When I'm 18, I'm only 18 and I live at home. Do you get it? So I can't even imagine how it is for someone who has a full-time job, they have kids, they have money issues, all this and this. You don't want to do that. Just don't grow up too fast. Enjoy the stage that you're in and just love life for what it is right now. That's all for this video. I hope that taught you something. I know there was a lot that I talked about, but if you are younger, I hope that I've uncovered some things that you may have been struggling with and helped you overcome them just a little bit. If you are older, don't feel stupid if these things still apply to you and you're, you know, my age or even older than that. Some of these things that I wrote down, I'm still struggling with right now every now and then. These things will continue to come up in your life, but it's just how you handle it is the most important thing. You won't be able to avoid situations necessarily, but you'll be able to handle them, and that's way more impactful than anything. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment down below other things that I may have missed out on what you've learned. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.